Walking high where the wild winds play, me and my dog chasing the day. Paws on the dirt and boots on the stone, out in the world where we both feel home. Oh, my hiking dog, you're my trailside guide, with your wagging tail and your endless stride, through the forest green to the mountains face. You make the wild feel like the safest place. You sniff the air while I map the trail. Together we're strong, no way we'll fail. The world out here feels big and free, but it's just you and me under this canopy. Oh, my hiking dog, you're my trailside guide, with your wagging tail and your endless stride.
This morning, Cab and I are at Dolliver State Park. This is just south of Fort Dodge, Iowa. We've been here quite a number of times. So hoping this is going to be a nice little trip. I don't know if you can hear the stream down below. Cabby can. He's all ready to get a drink. This is always a nice park. And we're already down to the stream. Yep, somebody's got to get a drink right away. We were kind of waiting for a soccer game for my grandson. He's playing this afternoon. We had a few extra hours, so I said, well, let's go for a hike. You ready? Let's go. We're going that way. There you go. Going up. Going up, up, up. This year we got a lot of rain in this area. We're at our second stream already. We're only a few minutes into this, and it's still running. A lot of times you come out here and this will be dry, but it's pretty good right now. This is a neat little stone bridge. I'm sure the Conservation Corps put this in at some time. What a neat bridge. You don't need a drink already again. If you pull me down into the mud, you're gonna get it. Get a drink. What do you think of that? Nice and clear. So the last few days, I've been talking to my brother about putting in some solar panels in my home. And I'm not referring to like a whole home solar system. Something really simple setup, just to catch some of that free energy from the sun. Originally, we were going to do it on my garage, and then we talked about batteries in cold weather. And in Iowa, we do get cold weather in the wintertime, and it just wouldn't make sense to do that. So then we started talking about capturing the energy with the panels, and then having the battery in the house. And the battery I'm referring to is like one of the portable battery packs. I have a EcoFlow That's around 1,000 watt, and I have a Blue Eddy that's 1152 working watt. So a couple of decent sized batteries. What I like to do is capture the energy and basically recharge those. And then I started thinking, well, why just recharge them from when I'm out and about on the weekends? Let's do it and use the energy year round. And then, oh my God, then the conversation started. So speaking with the brother, and I'm going to him because he's the expert. I don't know anything about electricity other than plug it, turn it on. Don't stick your finger in the socket. That's it. I could just hit a tree. And I'm climbing, going uphill and trying to talk. Smart. But talking to him, so what would it take to power, not all of my home, but part of it, like the everyday appliances, other than like my stove, washer, dryer, heater, air conditioner. Those all take lots of power, and I don't want to try to install a total in-home system like that. That's just a huge investment, and right now I don't see it paying back. So just something simple. Nope. Let's go. So continuing on with the solar story, last night decided, yep, we're going to put two 450 watt panels on the front porch, run some, or the front, I guess you'd call it a porch, the front of the house, which is the south side of directions. Pretty low slope on it, but we're going to do that. Run some wires, hook them up, and then we'll start off with just my current battery packs. Use that to charge and then run. And then I decided, what if I got a bigger battery pack? And I started looking at powering my TV, my laptop, my Wi-Fi, my fridge, any lights in the house, powering it off of that instead of paying the utility. What would that take? So one, I'm going to need a bigger pack. So, okay, we decided on a 3600 Delta 3 Pro, I think it is. Okay, how many would I need? Because what I would not want to do is have a base unit and then have additional batteries that are just batteries, nothing to plug into. Because this isn't set up to run through my electrical system in the house. It would just be, okay, I'm going to use this battery pack in my bedroom and I'm going to plug it in right into the pack. I'm not going to go through the wiring in the house, which again, a lot less cost, and I don't have to worry about code violations, which I don't know if there would be or any going through the house, but that's definitely not something I could do with my knowledge. So it's like, oh, I basically would need 4 big packs, 3600 watts, kitchen, living room, bedroom, and one to be rotating to be charged while the others are in use. Just kind of keep this constant rotation. And that doesn't mean that one day would fill a pack with the 900 watts combined. But it's gonna generate quite a bit. So we're set on that. Okay, now we gotta start looking for panels. And that's how we ended last night. That was last night. So this morning, I sent my brother a couple pics of the front of the house where we plan to put the panels so that he could see the morning light. And this is about 7:30 in the morning, I would say. And I got a text back a little while later saying, not good. I'm like, oh no, what's that mean? What does that mean? And then I'd sent him a video as well of a YouTuber who was doing something really similar, except he wasn't mounting the panels to the roof. He was keeping them in his yard, and then he would move them a couple times each day throughout the day. He did work at home, so he could do that in order to get optimum sunlight. A little bit later, my brother calls me and he says, well, what about putting the panels in the yard? And myself, I really don't want that. It'd be a bit of an eyesore. I don't have a big yard and it would take up some space. I'm afraid Cab would either pee on them, which he may be doing to this tree pretty soon, or run into them, knock them around. That's one consideration about it. The other is we get some really high winds throughout the year where I live. It's not abnormal to get 50-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, that's not an every week kind of thing, but at least a couple times a month, no matter what season, we're getting winds like that. And we've had quite a few storms this year that they reached 60, 70-mile-an-hour winds. And I'm afraid putting a solid pane up like that in the yard is just going to get destroyed by those winds. So I was going against that. And then we started talking about putting the panels back on the garage again, because it has a nice southerly facing slope. Not a steep slope, but it gets more direct sunlight for a longer time during the day. And then I started thinking, what if I put panels up all over the place? Like, well, let's put some in the front of the house. Let's put some on the garage. Let's put some on the south side of the garage and some on the west side of the garage, some on the east. What's that going to mean? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, man, I could almost go off grid if I can store enough power. Can I do that? I mean, it'd be a pretty big cost in the panels. Well, then he starts talking about amps and volts and current and VOC and max current. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And he's series and parallel wiring. What does that mean? Well, parallel, you have less VOC going to the power bank. Series, you have less current going to the power bank than parallel. And the power bank can only handle so much. It's going to max out. If you go over it, it's going to damage it. So we're talking voltage, current. Then he throws in, do you know what the Ohm's law is? Do you know what the Ohm's law is, Cab? Hey, do you know what Ohm's law is? I don't know what Ohm's law is. No idea. Does it matter? I guess it does. So yeah, you've got all those terms you gotta learn. You gotta really understand them, because I guess it's dangerous. If you got too much voltage, too much current, your wires can start on fire. You can damage your batteries. If you get too much amperage or voltage, I'm not sure. And also, though parallel and series are wired differently, they produce the same amount of watts. But if you have partial shading where you're putting the panels, parallel is better than series, but they both put out the same amount of amps. I'm confused. Very confused. So I got a lot of research to do. Really, where's the best place in the yard to put them? What gets the most amount of sunlight? Also, we're getting to the park here, off the trail. So what's the best place? How much energy do I need to run the appliances that I want to run off of this? How do you wire it into the house without causing damage to your house? There's a lot of questions. A lot of questions. I don't know the answers. So a lot of research to do. My brother's going to make me do the research. He's the expert, but I got to do the research. What the hell? Why? Why? I guess it's better. The more I know, the more I understand. And that's really why I'm doing this. Well, not really. It's more about prepping. Hey. Hold up. This way. There you go. This is more about having a backup system for energy if we lose power for more than a day. A day I can pretty much live through. More than a day, I'd want something. I've gone 2 weeks without power at my house after a big storm rolled through when I lived in Wisconsin. But if I don't have to, I don't want to. So, lots to do. Okay, let's go. Come on. Come on. So what I think, if I decide to do this project, what I'll do is I'll make some document what I did, why I did it, how I did it. So if anybody else is interested in doing it, they can give it a shot too. And if you have any experience with solar, I'd be happy to hear in the comments any suggestions that you can give and make the process a little bit easier for me to learn it and put it in. And again, I'm not doing a whole home solar setup, just using like an EcoFlow battery pack, charging that, and then taking that pack into whatever room I'm going to be using it and trying from there. So yeah, any suggestions? Comment in the comments, and I'd be appreciated. This will be a fun experiment, kind of expensive one, but it'd be nice to have backup too in case we lose power. What do you think, bud? Ready to go? Got about a mile to get back to the car. We can do it. No problem. No problem at all. So one thing interesting about Dolliver State Park is that I think it was 2 years ago, where I'm standing right now was completely underwater. We had some serious flooding in the spring of that year, so that would be 23. This was all underwater all the way up to the road way back there. and they had to do a lot of work to recover it. But it looks nice now, other than the crappy chair that somebody dropped there. We'll have to pick that up on our way back. Throw it away. Because I don't want to see it. Somebody else doesn't. Cab doesn't. Want to get a drink while we're here? This will probably be your last river shot. Last shot at a river, brother. For today, anyway. You got your drink? It's pretty muddy, I know. It's pretty though. So we're late for the soccer game. And he knows it. But he's got to stop and poop for the third time. The third time. And he knows we're going to be late. We need to hoof it, man. I can't be late to that game. I cannot be. Let's go. Well, Cab and I just finished Dolliver State Park. It was about 3.05 miles. Again, we're kind of rushing to get back so that we can get to the grandson's soccer game. First game of the year. He's going to score a lot of points. Right? Cabby gets to watch from the car because he can't go on the field. But we're going to head out. Again, hope you enjoyed the video. And we'll see what I do with solar panels. Have a good day. Have a good day. Hey, Cabbers. Keep. On. There you go. Yeah. Good boy. Good boy. He's a good boy. Yes. All right, let's go.